Luther Manning has had one hell of a life. A successful military career that ended when he was a colonel thanks to a fatal injury and resurrection as a cyborg. Though he is one of Marvel's most intriguing superheroes, he somehow doesn't get the recognition he deserves. So today, let's dedicate a video to him and explore his anatomy. Before we go ahead, we do have a small task for you. We want you to subscribe to our channel and tap on that bell icon if you haven't already, so you can stay updated with all the amazing videos we make and never miss one. Done? Then let's dive in. All the people who were Deathlock. On Earth 7484, after Colonel Luther Manning's fatal injury in 1985, his senior officer, Major Simon Riker, salvaged his body to be used in Project Alpha Mech. Project Alpha Mech was a covert operation by the US government to create cyborg super soldiers. 5 years later, Luther Manning woke up as a cyborg, named Deathlock the Demolisher. In the earlier days, Deathlock obeyed the instructions of Riker, but when his memories started to return, he rebelled. During this time, Timestream, a foreign monarch, recruited him by promising to erase the past, which turned him into Deathlock. Tempted by this offer, Manning joined him, but later realized that Timestream planned to erase the existence of everything. As soon as Manning stopped serving Timestream, Timestream forcefully converted Luther Manning of Earth 616 into a duplicate of Deathlock. Another one of Timestream's recruits was Michael Collins. Collins was a computer programmer whose programming for artificial limbs played a key role in the Deathlock project of Earth 616. He was under the assumption that his work was helping handicapped people. So he was understandably upset after finding out about the Deathlock project and complained about it to Harlan Riker, his friend, who was actually leading the Deathlock project. The treacherous Riker had Collins' brain placed in the Deathlock cyborg. Collins woke up inside the cyborg, but was unable to control his limbs, which were being operated by Riker. He saw in horror as his cyborg body killed numerous people. Eventually, he managed to escape Riker's grip and made him pay for the pain he put Collins through. While serving Timestream, he was able to help Luther Manning realize the danger Timestream was putting the past in. Not wanting to serve the evil Timestream any longer, Manning killed himself. Collins, too, had his share of adventures, after which he returned to his body, which had been preserved on Earth. Other Deathlocks include Colonel John Kelly, who served in the Vietnam War and had volunteered in the cyborg program, SHIELD agents Jack Truman and Larry Young, who were transformed to fight Red Skull, Henry Hayes, a doctor who lost his leg while working at Doctors Without Borders, and the company Biotech lured him in with the promise of a prosthesis and brainwashed him into becoming Deathlock, and Gemma Simmons, another agent of SHIELD who was converted into a cyborg to save her life from a fatal infection. But in this video, we're going to focus only on Luther Manning. Anatomy of Deathlock. Both versions of Luther Manning from the mainstream Earth 616 and Earth 7484 are incredibly similar. Earth 616 Deathlock was created to replace the Deathlock of Earth 7484. He stands high at 6'4" and weighs 394 pounds. Though this is his weight in the official handbook of the Marvel Universe, the original comic book series he appeared in, Astonishing Tales, lists his weight as 600 pounds. His body is half everyday normal man, while the other half is equipped with state-of-the-art bionics. As Manning had lost his right arm, it had to be completely remade artificially. His right arm has no core and is a helical motor-driven muscle made with synthetic flesh. The organs, bones, and muscles that Manning had lost or had weakened during his lifetime were replaced by synthetic flesh and muscles and metal bones. His skeletal structure is completely made of stainless steel, while what remained of his organic, semi-living tissue was enhanced to make sure it functioned at superhuman levels. The stainless steel was later replaced by an unknown metal to improve functioning. Our guess? It's either adamantium or vibranium. His elbow joint was replaced with a radius ulnar swivel, while a carpal joint simulator was added to his wrists to ensure smooth movement. In his feet, you can find tarsal joint simulators, which were installed for the same purpose. You can also find a ratchet, lockable coiled springs, swivel socket ball joints, and pneumatic springs in his legs that make him jump over formidable heights. At the top of his skull, a computer link port was installed to manage his memories. Only one part of his brain was prioritized, which was the part that governed strategic extrapolations, as it was Manning's specialty during his stint in the military. But parts of his medulla oblongata, parts of the hypothalamus, and his entire cerebrum were utilized while the rest were discarded. The functions and memories they carried were converted into chips and implanted in his skull. His vocal cords were replaced with a speech synthesizer. Project Alpha Mech was able to do this by using miniature relay circuits that were protected by a steel plate implanted in the skull. They not only controlled his consciousness, but also the pneumatic red lens that was installed to replace his damaged eye. The circuits also controlled the audio receiver implanted in his left ear. The scientists had problems while reconstructing Manning's face, as most of his facial bones were broken, needing reconstruction with metal. Half of his skull was remade with an exoskull. His damaged skin was replaced by a superficial layer made by integrating long-chain polymers with metal affinity polymers. When he was first converted into Deathlock, Manning's body was made out of 36% aminobiotic fluid preservative, 47% computer circuitry and life support systems, and 17% organic matter. All his systems don't run on their own and need a tiny nuclear-powered thermoelectric generator that's attached to his spleen. Every 8 to 9 hours, Deathlock needs to refuel this generator. His artificial arm had a cartridge slot where you could just pop in a chip loaded with mission details and all the info that he needed to get the job done. It sent everything straight to his data system. Through this slot, he could also be analyzed and reprogrammed. He's connected to a symbiotic computer, which he talks to often and calls it Pewter. At the time of his creation, the scientists and doctors working on the project predicted that his system would stay active for at least 30 years. Maybe this is the reason that later, when Deathlock became S.H.I.E.L.D. property, he was given a lot of new updates. He got jettison boots and a detachable left arm that could morph into a weapon. The powers of Deathlock. Luther Manning was not chosen to be a cyborg just because his death coincided with Project Alpha Mech's search for a freshly out-of-commission brain. Major Riker used to consider him the most brilliant military strategist alive, which was why his brain was chosen. As a graduate of military academy, he was skilled in hand-to-hand combat and knew his way around guns, pistols, knives, and other weapons. He's incredibly powerful, as is expected from a cyborg with a metal skeleton. The red uniform that he's always seen wearing was made of woven metal mesh, which gives him an increased durability. He could lift over 2 tons before his left arm upgrade, which means that he could likely lift more now. His right arm was described to have the grip of an iron vise, along with the tensile strength of forged steel. He could punch through steel doors and run at a speed of 42 miles per hour. The recorded speed was before his shield upgrades, so imagine his speed now. His resistance and durability were 5 times more than that of the normal human. Thanks to all the mechanisms in his leg, he could jump over 20 feet. As Deathlock has a computer system where his nervous system should be, his reaction times are way faster than human beings. He could also think faster and more efficiently. These computer systems can also regulate chemical and hormonal balance in his body. For instance, if he was frozen in place from fear, the computer systems would generate enough adrenaline for him to come out of shock. His brain was also programmed not to kill himself, a detail that Timestream most likely forgot while duplicating him using Earth 616's Manning, which eventually led to his suicide. His laser eye is a piece of fantastic innovation. It has telescopic abilities, which means that he can see objects nearly 1,000 feet away, microscopic abilities, which he can use to focus on tinier foes and issues, and an infrared scanning facility which helps Deathlock see clearly in dark areas. He can see everything in color, except when he's using the infrared scanner. Most of Deathlock's respiratory system is organic, so he needs to breathe, but the oxygen filter installed in his cardiovascular system gives him more endurance than us normies. Deathlock usually carries a yellow-colored helium neon laser gun created by the Army and a throwing dagger that has a hilt made of magnet which he can carry around by just sticking it to his leg. All of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s upgrades most likely increased the agility, endurance, strength, and reflexes Deathlock already had. Despite all these powers, as Deathlock has most parts of his brain, he still needs sleep. Marvelous verdict. Deathlock is truly a well-rounded and complicated character. Talks about a Deathlock film have been going on since the early 1990s, but have not reached the point of fruition. And though he has arrived on screen in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it was not the original Luther Manning. With the Marvel Cinematic Universe expanding, there might finally be a chance for Luther to make his live-action debut. Do you think Manning is at his peak, or his cyborg body can be further improved? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked the video, please let us know by tapping on that thumbs up. We'll be back with more awesome, mind-blowing videos, but until then, sayonara.